What's going on, everybody? Welcome on into another episode of Play by Play with JJ. We're doing another Phillies a recap episode where we talk about how the Phillies did in their previous series. So we're going to be doing this pretty much throughout most of the regular season, and then once the playoffs come, if they make it, which they should, hopefully, even though I'm very disgusted with them right now, then we'll do it more on a game-to-game basis, but that's how we're doing things right now. Okay, make sure that you make sure you subscribe, hit the bell icon, so that way you know when I either A, go live, or B, when I upload for a Phillies game, a Sixers game, a Patriots game, or any of that jazz. All right, so with that being said, let's just dive right into this, because I'm really, deep down as a fan, okay? The broadcaster in me is just one thing. I just do that just to, get reps. Of course, I love calling things, for my team and all that sort of stuff. But I really have to tell you, I'm very frustrated with this baseball club. Yes, they took the series in Houston. That was big. Yes, absolutely. But you follow that up with this type of garbage. You allow 13 runs in 2 straight games. And not only that, you have a 5-run lead, a 5-0 lead in the series finale on Thursday, and yet somehow, some way, you blow that too. Do I have to mention the defensive disasters that were going on over in right field, over at third base with Edmundo Sosa? Do I have to mention the fact that Craig Kimbrell gives up a walk-off grand slam? I don't know where to begin. I really don't, and I'm honestly really frustrated because, in all honesty, it's just how is this just continuing to go on right now? Oh, but Jason, JJ, it's still early in the season. We just got started with May. Kyle Schwarber, we know, doesn't even put up really good at-bats until June. I don't care. I don't care. I want to see a winning product out there on the field, and every single time I see this team play right now, I don't know what I'm going to get out of them. And when you come into the season, you have the mindset of you made it all the way to the World Series last year. Okay, you set the bar. You set the bar. And I expect you to come out there, to show up at spring training, and to just come in and just give it your all every single day. And sometimes I just feel like that I don't see this team gelling together. 162 games. It's a lot of games. But every single game matters. I've also been hearing that sort of a thing too, where, it's so early in the season, so they still have time to figure this out. Yeah, well, tell the San Francisco Giants, right, when they were going up against the LA Dodgers, the very, 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 very last series of the season, right? Tell them that when you win 111 games and when the Dodgers win 110 games, that, you may have had that one really bad performance, and those things are going to happen. Those things are going to happen, right? It is what it is. I'm just telling you that there's going to be a stretch of games where I expect you to go out there and execute. And I don't always see that now. Let's get to the managerial decisions, right? First of all, this whole Cody Clemens pitching thing, I'm sorry. I understand the philosophy behind it, but that has to stop. It really does. I'm so tired of seeing position players out there pitching in the 9th inning when it's a blowout, because that's just basically saying, you know what, we're giving up. We're giving up. I don't like that mindset. I really don't. Maybe I'm old school that way. I don't know. But those types of things, it's just the leadership. And I don't always see that. So Cody Clemens going out there to pitch the 9th inning, man, those things have to stop. The other thing that actually kind of tips me off a little bit is, why is Bryson Stott not batting leadoff now? And not only that, but why did you have to bring Bryce Harper back so early and not just wait for him to come home against Boston. I'm not telling you that the series would have been different if he didn't play, because we know that he went 4 for 4 in the second game, and he was absolutely incredible. I just feel like, personally, for me as a fan, I would have much rather had him go out there at Citizens Bank Park, have him be reintroduced, right? Give him his ring and all that sort of stuff, and have like a little ceremony. And also, like, that's good for ticket sales. I mean, even the ticket sales are still going to be really good, but I don't know, there's just more excitement behind that. And I just don't understand why Bryson Stott now is not batting leadoff. You put Kyle Schwarber in the leadoff spot, and I'm sorry, with all due respect, but what has Kyle Schwarber provided for this team this season to you, Rob Thomson, that he deserves to be getting more at-bats than Bryson Stott? Bryson Stott has been your best hitter overall this season. I want him getting the most at-bats. That's how I look at it. He did a really good job as the leadoff hitter. You knew that Bryce Harper, when he came back, that there were going to have to be some managerial decisions that were going to have to be changed and all that sort of stuff. I totally understand that. Like, that's fine. But maybe slide Kyle Schwarber down. Keep Bryson Stott in the leadoff spot. I'm just telling you that he was doing a really good job there. And if it ain't broke, why fix it? That's all I got to tell you in that regard. The defense, yeah, that has to be a lot better. I mean, Edmundo Sosa in that 8th inning, man, what the heck was that? That was just awful. You don't know where the ball is going, right? You forget how to field a ground ball in a big moment like that. You're basically playing over at third base because of your defense. And Rob Thomson trusts you in that regard. And that's why Alec Bohm is over at first base. Okay? You got to make those plays. You have to make those plays. Those types of clutch situations, okay? I understand that nobody's perfect, but my job, like, on here, like, when I'm broadcasting games, like, it's one thing. But whenever I do these post-game, series pods, I have to tell you, like, what I saw, and I have to be hard. I have to criticize you because you know why? Because I love this team, and I want what's best for this team. But Edmundo Sosa has to be better. Nick Castellanos in right field. Yes, you had a terrific catch in that Houston series. That was an incredible catch. But there's still some times like where I see him in the outfield and he's just not hustling. And Chris Taylor got a triple because of that. I think that accountability is a word that is very overused in not just baseball, but in all of sports. And it sounds so cliche, but there has to be somebody that just says, we can't be playing like this anymore. We have to try to get our acts together. We have to be better. And I don't see it. I don't see it. And every single time I feel like that this team is going to go on like a magical run and all that sort of stuff. Like, I literally just get the flat-out garbage that I witnessed against the Dodgers. I would have been happy if they would have went 500 on this road trip, personally speaking. But no. They did their job in Houston. But you follow it up. And not only did you lose those 3 games, you had a 5-run lead in the 3rd game. And yet, the first 2 games weren't even competitive. They really weren't. It's just disgusting. And I don't know if I always trust Rob Thomson this season. Personally, I wouldn't have pitched Craig Kimbrell against Max Muncy because I knew that the bases were loaded. I understand that you didn't have as many arms to go to. Alvarado pitched in the inning before. I just would have went with a lefty-lefty, and Gregory Soto, I would have went to him with the bases loaded. That's just me personally. I'm not telling you that that's why we lost. Kimbrell has to be better. There's no doubt about it. But I do feel like that Rob Thomson has lost his touch. And it's okay for me to say that because as great of a job as he did last year pushing the right buttons when this team made it all the way to the World Series. He made some awesome decisions, but yet again, the whole Zach Wheeler thing happened in the World Series. There were some, matchups that I didn't necessarily agree with, but yet I was the one that, couldn't criticize Rob Thomson because he did so many great things. I acknowledge the incredible things that he's done, and I wanted him to be the manager of this team. I'm not telling you I didn't. I'm just telling you with my own two eyes, whenever I call these games night in and night out and every single day that I do this, there's just something that I question the back of my head, like, why are these decisions being made? Like, why isn't Bryson Stott still batting leadoff? I don't understand. It doesn't make any sense to me. So, what else did I have over here on my notes? We see a terrific catch from Castellanos. I wrote that down. Why is Bryson Stott all the way down in the lineup? Kimbrel blows a save. Cody Clemens is pitching. Yeah, so going back to, the whole is it early? The whole is it early sort of conversation. Okay, the San Francisco Giants, I just use that as an example. Let's look at last year, right? Let's look at the Braves and the Mets. These two teams were going up against each other in the NL East. They were fighting for that top spot. And on the very last day of their series finale, right? The Atlanta Braves took that game. But every single game before that matters because 103 is different than 102. So if you're competing for a top spot, you have to take every single game into consideration, and you got to play it like it's your last. Every single game does matter, and you're going to lose games. Of course. It's 162 games, but you have to go in every single day playing like it's your last game. It's just simple. And so I don't understand why people still say, oh, but it's still early, because the regular season started, at the end of March? So, I don't know. Trea Turner, am I a little bit concerned about him right now? No. I'm not concerned about Trea Turner. I actually thought it was a good thing. I'm sorry, I can't really speak. I thought it was a really good thing that he actually did hit that home run, because I do feel like that there is something in that swing, and it's just with a matter of time that he's just going to be getting on base consistently night in and night out, and he's going to be back to his old self. I'm not worried about that. I'm still not worried about Kyle Schwarber. I'm just basically saying, it's time to step up. This is the season. Our goal is to go back to the World Series, and my goal for them, even without Rhys Hoskins, I said this team should still win the division because they're just as good as those other two teams, in my opinion. When they play up to their opponent, they're so competitive. And they can beat anybody. They beat the Astros 2 out of 3 games. And it's funny because then I get other people telling me, oh, but look at the Houston Astros record. The Astros made it to they won the World Series last year, and yet they're playing 500 baseball. I don't care about the Astros. I don't care. I care about my team. I truly do. And I want my team to succeed. And that's how I approach this. So anyhow, I just want to remind you guys, right? If you guys want to come on, voice your opinions about the series and that entire thing, you guys can join the Discord server. It is pinned down below in the comments section. I'll also get to your comments on here because I want to hear what you guys have to say about this whole series, because I'm really just disturbed. And it's not just the series. It just goes back to how this season has really played out, and I think I have a right to be a little bit frustrated because they have just not been consistent. And I know that Bryce is just coming back from an injury, and that these guys are still missing a lot of pieces. Ranger Suarez is still out. Okay, Andrew Painter's still out. Derek Hall's injured, right? Christian Pache just went down not too long ago. I get it. But I can't just like excuse those things because this team just has to win these games. There's a reason why you have Kyle Schwarber and Trea Turner. Trea Turner was supposed to add another whole element to your offense right now. And I'm not concerned about it. I just need to see him start hitting more and more and more. But the defense has to be better. JT, I didn't even get to him. He has to be better, offensively speaking. And the managerial decisions have to be better too. It's baffling as a fan. I spend my time, I'm like watching these games at like 10 o'clock at night, and I'm sure that you guys are too. And you say to yourselves, well, they just gave up 13 runs. You know what I'm saying? Like, how can you be satisfied with that? I come on here to be entertained, and that's the type of performance I get, really? So, anyhow, we'll take some of your comments. All right, so make sure that you, first of all, join the Discord server if you want to come on, talk about the Phillies, because I can definitely let you do that. We're in a voice chat right now. But we'll also display some of your comments as well. All right, so let's go on here. Yo, what's up, Snowman? Thanks for coming on here, my guy. I really appreciate it. And Larry, I saw your comment, man. It really means a lot to me. You know, like we're gonna be doing a whole lot of play-by-play for sure with the Sixers coming up this weekend, and I'm really looking forward to it. We'll be doing the Phillies game on Saturday night as well. We have a lot of awesome content, but I want to, I'm not only just doing play-by-play on here, I also, want to get more confident when it comes to just talking about this team as a whole, or these teams. And I know that I know I'm, going off track here. I was supposed to do a Patriots show tonight, okay? It's probably not going to happen because my schedule got mixed up and everything, or switched up. But we will be talking about the draft. I promise. I do promise. Great stream as always. I gotta working on fixing this pitching issue. Phillies should look into at least acquiring Chris Flexen for some depth at this point. Yeah, well, I mean, I gotta be honest with you. Aaron Nola and Zach Wheeler just have to be better. I mean, Nola wasn't terrible in that last outing, but I will say this. The velocity has gone down. How are you a starting pitcher and yet you're not at least throwing 92 miles per hour? I'm sorry. You have to, if something's wrong, you can't pitch. How are you not at least throwing 92 with the fastball, bro? I'm sorry. And Zach Wheeler's not even hitting 100 like he did last season, but obviously 100's different than 92. I'm not saying that it's easy, but I'm just saying that if those two guys are not not the 1-2 punches in your starting rotation, then everything else, it doesn't matter. They have to be your best two pitchers. They have to pitch like aces out there. And if they're not doing that, then the pitching staff as a whole is just going to struggle. So that's my whole philosophy about that. Would I like Chris Flexen? Yeah, definitely. I think that this team definitely needs a little bit more depth when it comes to the pitching side of things. But I also understand that Ranger Suarez is coming back soon, and Andrew Painter hopefully will be coming back soon. They also have some really good young guys, hopefully that'll be called up in a little bit, like Mick Abel, and McGarry and all that sort of stuff. But I think that the deeper problem that I have, really, compared to Nola and Wheeler, the deeper problem is just the hitting. Because they're not getting timely hits. The hitting is not consistent. And there's just, I don't know, they had an edge to them last year. You know what I'm saying? when they were having that September collapse, I don't know if you guys remember this, but what turned it around, in my opinion, before the whole St. Louis Cardinals wild card series happened, what really turned it around was when Kyle Schwarber hit that solo home run in Washington, because they went on a winning streak from there, and then it was the first game against the Astros at the end of the regular season where they just clinched it, and yet they rested their bench guys. I really thought that point was the turning point of where this team was going to go, and they started to have more of grit to them. Like, we're not giving up one at-bat at a time, and everybody was on the same page, and it was just rolling into a domino effect, and everything that was going on within the clubhouse, was being shown on the camera. Guys were having fun. Guys were winning, right? Garrett Stubbs' playlist and all that sort of stuff. Dancing on My Own. Like, that all came because there was an edge to this team. Are they missing Gene Segura in that sense? Maybe. But it's no excuse. They just have to be better. They have to clean up a lot of things. And I'm starting to get a little bit impatient as a fan, because I expect to see greatness almost every time that they're out there. Am I being too harsh? Let me know down below in the comments section. All right, how long have we been going for? 21 minutes. There was one other thing I wanted to point out, and I forget what it was. Yeah, so I said that, bringing Bryce Harper back during the home series, I thought would have been the right move. I just think that, why did you have to rush it? You know what I'm saying? If Bryce just would have came back and he would have made his debut at home, the crowd would have just been so electric, and it just would have felt better for a vibe purpose, And this team was, I thought, cruising along, and then now you have to, I don't know how to explain it. And I'm kind of having a brain freeze as we speak. I just didn't think that it was the best timing of just bringing him back while they were in L.A. And on top of that, you're sliding Bryson Stott down in the lineup. And how does his confidence look now? You know what I'm saying? I don't understand. And I'm frustrated. But I know that it is a long season and that there's a lot of games to go. And maybe they turn it around against Boston, okay? Give me the double bird. Prove me wrong. Say F you to me by winning these games. Then I'll be happy. But, you as the audience, you're always investing something with this team, right? Whether it's investing your time in listening to me call the game, and me investing my time in calling their games, and expecting to see a good product out there. The other thing is that, some of you guys are buying their merch, or you're going to games. Make them criticize them. You know what I'm saying? If they're playing really well, praise them. But if they're not playing well, spit out the facts and voice your opinion. Because that's why I have these headsets. I'm not only calling games on here, and getting reps in that regard for just this portfolio. I'm on here because I also have to tell you guys what I'm not seeing, and I'm trying to give you guys as much insight as possible from just what I see from my own two eyes. But we also come on here because I want to hear what you guys have to say, because I learned from you both as well. So, yeah, with that, I think we're going to close things down. Hopefully the Phillies play better this weekend. We're only going to be doing one game, and that's going to be on Saturday, because tomorrow night we got Sixers, and Sunday afternoon we got Sixers. So, Yeah, but we will be doing our post-series podcast probably on Monday, because I'll still be in touch with the Phillies and all that sort of stuff, and we'll probably do our NFL Patriots draft podcast on Monday as well. All right, I want to thank you all so much for tuning in tonight. Okay, my name is Jason Joseph. This is Play by Play with JJ. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, and in the future, if you want to come on the Discord, man, like make sure that you come on, try to join the voice chat as well and voice your opinion. And yeah, I'll catch you all on the next one.